This one's wife. You have our support. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Victoria Ward writes in the Telegraph, Harry and this one's wife offer support to King and Princess of Wales over health struggles. Sending of best wishes over senior royals' hospital appointments will be seen as an olive branch after a difficult few years. And I can tell you now, Victoria Ward, it will not be seen as an olive branch. Now, first of all, the immediate consideration is, did it happen? Remember, this one's wife repeatedly tells lies, and Harry is at her behest, and his rather unsavoury traits which exist have become amplified by his involvement with her. As a consequence of this, there is always the possibility that no best wishes had actually been sent at all, and this is more spin and propaganda being pumped out by Monty Shitshow to make them look like they care when they actually do not. This is something that a narcissist would do. Not bother to show any support because she has no emotional empathy for the king, and certainly not for the Princess of Wales, who is the nemesis, and instead would then lie and tell the world, oh, we've sent best wishes because we do care, as part of facade management. So it's important to make that point as it being a possibility. Initially, there was silence from the gruesome twosome. This is as a consequence of Harry not being able to make a move without the approval of his handler, and the fact that this one's wife doesn't care about Charles or Catherine, because she has no emotional empathy whatsoever. Furthermore, her false cognitive empathy wouldn't even motivate her at the time to do anything, because they're painted black. It's reported that the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have sent their best wishes to both the King and the Princess of Wales, it has emerged. Prince Harry and this one's wife reportedly contacted both senior royals in different ways last week. Thus, from Harry, it's a manifestation of his emotional empathy. With this one's wife, it's a hoover. I really do not see that this one's wife will have contacted Catherine, because Catherine simply would not have wanted to hear from her. With the king, he is going to be more open to the receipt of a message. The move will be considered an olive branch as the couple seek to build bridges after a tumultuous few years in which relations with the royal family have plummeted. Now, there are certain royal commentators who like talking about it being an olive branch, but it won't be seen that way. The king will see it as an opportunity to manage his own facade. Catherine will simply be unimpressed by this. First of all, if such wishes were expressed, they did not happen quick enough, and that in itself is not going to go any way to cause Catherine and William to forgive the gruesome twosome for their behaviour. Moreover, having been expertly advised, William and Catherine will see such behaviour as simply self-serving. They now understand that what this one's wife does is anything that furthers her own interests, and that there's no genuine care or empathy for anybody else. A source told the Mirror the King and the Princess of Wales have received support from Prince Harry and this one's wife regarding their health. The Duke and Duchess contacted both parties in different ways to pass on their concern and best wishes. Might it be the case that this one's wife's concern was to Charles, I'm wondering which wreath to put on your coffin. Is it this one or that one? Can you let me know? Just in case, of course, the surgery goes wrong. The King and Queen had been enjoying a New Year break on the Balmoral estate when Charles received his diagnosis last Wednesday. They flew back to England on Friday and are understood to have spent the weekend separately, the King at Sandringham and the Queen 76 at her private home, Raymill House in Wiltshire. The King did not attend church on the Sandringham estate on Sunday as he usually does when in residence. Buckingham Palace has declined to disclose when he will be admitted to hospital and where he will undergo treatment. The King's Sergeant Surgeon is Ranan Dasgupta, a urological surgeon who specialises in specific forms of treatment for an enlarged prostate and works at several hospitals, including the London clinic, where the Princess of Wales is recuperating. The Princess was admitted to the private hospital in Marylebone, central London, last Tuesday before undergoing surgery. She is not expected to be discharged for another week. Neither Prince William nor their 3 children are thought to have visited her this weekend. The article then makes reference to Harry's appearance at the Legends of Aviation event, which I've covered separately. Thus, Harry, motivated by emotional empathy and genuine concern for his sister-in-law and his father, has contacted them. His motivation is different from that of this one's wife. This one's wife has done it by way of a hoover, to make herself look good. She doesn't care. She doesn't give a rat's ass about the health of King Charles or the Princess of Wales, but she does it in order to look good, and ensures, of course, that if this did indeed take place, that the world knows about it. As is always the case with what a narcissist does, it's not much use if it's done behind closed doors, save, of course, where they're abusing somebody. Any supposed act of good needs to be broadcast to the world to ensure that it can be used to control as many people as possible through facade management, and thereafter receive as much fuel as possible. That any charitable act, any philanthropic gesture, has to be reported on and broadcast. That, of course, is the way of the narcissist, and such a requirement demonstrates the empty nature of the gesture, which isn't an olive branch and shouldn't be seen as such. But what about the responses of those that have received these overtures? And as mentioned, with regard to Charles, having received best wishes from his son and his daughter-in-law, that simply demonstrates in that moment that they are under control and provides him with fuel. It's not problematic. The article didn't explain how this was done. I suspect it was not in a phone call and was more likely the issuing of best wishes perhaps through an email or the transmission of some kind of message through another party. Therefore, there was unlikely to have been an actual conversation that had taken place. In the circumstances, the king probably, as part of his own facade management and assertion of control over Harry and this one's wife, thanked them. This, unfortunately, may well encourage this one's wife to believe that there are opportunities for reconciliation, encouraged by the favourable response from King Charles. The response is likely to be different from the Waleses. The fact is that neither of those individuals have a facade to manage, as William being a normal and this one's wife's nemesis, Catherine, being an empath. Instead, they will see it for what it is, a cynical attempt at currying favour. Their likely response is either a polite thank you, or more likely, and appropriately, not to respond at all. That will, of course, infuriate this one's wife and cause her to state, see how unpleasant they're being. I've tried to be nice to them. I wished Catherine well in relation to her health issues, and I got nothing back. She'll make a song and dance about it because the failure to respond wounds her and therefore threatens her sense of control, meaning she then has to get that sense of control, and she'll do so by smearing the Waleses. But the best response that the Waleses could give would be to not reply at all, because if they did, it would cause this one's wife to gain the control that she craves, cause her to receive some fuel, but also then be encouraged to think, oh, actually, all is well between us, when in actual fact, it isn't. How do people below the line see this development? Do they regard it as a kind and appropriate gesture that has come from the Sussexes? Do they believe that it is genuine? Do they think that it is indeed an olive branch, as suggested by Victoria Ward? Ian Whitehouse cuts to the quick, stating that which I've already mentioned. So how does what should be a private message get out into the public arena, I wonder? Self, self, self. That is the Sussexes. PJ Spears. They really are a truly horrible pair of opportunists. They realise they have blown all credibility and their future is grim. No one believes this one's wife gives a damn about the health of the royal family. Harry, just an outside possibility he feels guilty about the whole horrible situation. But she has him by the short and curlies. Fairly accurate summation of what's going on. Ruth Walker makes a valid point. A few weeks ago, King Charles and Catherine were accidentally revealed to be the two people who allegedly had made racist comments. Where was the concern from Harry and this one's wife for the welfare and reputation of the King and Princess of Wales then? Netflix doesn't want them. Spotify doesn't want them. Harry's just squandered something like £1 million on a discontinued court case. They have no discernible income. And all of a sudden, they want us to know they've expressed concern for the people they've done nothing but vilify for years. Does anyone believe Harry and this one's wife are anything except self-serving? Jane Weitzman. Their behaviour has probably added to stress-induced illness. Helen Wong. Bigger support Prince Harry and this one's wife could give is stop trashing the royal family. Thank you. Sarah Cooper. I presume this information comes from a source close to the Sussexes. I doubt the palace would mention anything. And Harry, you are a laughing stock, accepting that paid-for award. Elizabeth Templeman. Information no doubt issued by the Markle's PR company, and for goodness sake stop referring to the Princess of Wales as Kate Middleton. So ignorant. People see them for what they are. Self-serving. They don't see it as an olive branch. So many people now understand that this one's wife is entirely self-serving, and Harry has become that way as a consequence of his involvement with her. The public are not fooled, and nor will they ever be, which evidences no matter what this one's wife does to attempt to rehabilitate her image, this time by supposedly expressing concern and best wishes for the King and the Princess of Wales, it's not going to work. People see her for what she is. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.